Hello and welcome to cross-border payment and a roadmap that I asked ChatGPT to learn about this in the couple 21 days. So the whole idea of this is uh, from this video, is to recap what I asked ChatGPT. Okay, so after all, I prompt develop an efficient roadmap to learn cross-border payment by dedicating 1 hour daily for a mid-advanced English user. So the ChatGPT output was all of this, right? Which is great. So just to look at this, on the week one, foundation of cross-border payments. So the day one is the introduction to cross-border payments. Read articles or watch video that provide an overview of cross-border payments, as well as the importance and key challenge, right? Day two is type of cross-border payments. So explore the different cross-border payment methods, such as wire transfer, ACH, e-wallets, and cryptocurrencies. Day three, regulatory framework. Study the regulatory landscape for cross-border payment, including the AML, anti-money laundering, and KYC, know your customers compliance. Shift and correspondent banking. Learn about SWIFT and its role in facilitating secure communication between financial institutions in cross-border transactions. Day five, foreign exchange and exchange rates. Understanding foreign exchange markets, currency pairs, and factors affecting exchange rate in cross-border payments as well. So the week two is cross-border payment process. So payment message type. Dive deeper into Swift message type commonly used in cross-border payments and their specific purpose. Nostro and Vostro accounts. Explore Nostro and Vostro accounts and their significance in the cross-border transaction. I don't know. Payment gateways and provider. Study various payment gateways and cross-border payment service providers, comparing their features and fees. Cross-border payment challenge. Investigate common challenges in cross-border payments, such as fee, processing times, and currency conversion. Okay, fees, important fees, processing times, and currency conversion. They challenge. Day 10, risk management in cross-border payment. Understand risk management strategies to mitigate fraud and security risk in cross-border transactions. In week three, emerging trends and advancement, digital currency and blockchain, fintech innovation and cross-border payment API, case study on real-world examples, and current trends and future outlook. And the continuation here is from day 16 to 20, practical application. Okay, so spend the next 5 days trying out cross-border payment process practically here, and use online resource or test account to experiment with transactions. In day 21, review and reflect. Use the last day to review what you have learned throughout the 3 weeks. Reflect on your progress and identify area for further improvement. So in the today's video, okay, is to understand the cross-border payment. And after all, I asked ChatGPT to develop this roadmap. All right. Uh, and I also use some of the concept, which is applying what I have learned from ChatGPT. Uh, I mean the ChatGPT prompt engineering, which is this. Okay, these are my notes from this. So is this so using this concept from the ChatGPT prompt engineer, whether it's for the principles, the iterative approach. On the principle, we talk things like write specific, clear, right, clear and specific instructions, and give the model time to think, as well as several tactics. Also, understand the model limitation, which is something called as the hallucinations. Okay, the iterative approach when it comes to pro development. So you have an idea, and then from that you implement that, or you write the prompt. So you get these experimental results. You analyze why you don't get your desired output. You refine the idea and iterate. Right. So it actually follows the machine learning development. So and then I also the features that we can use uh, with ChatGPT. So, for example, summarizing, inferring, transforming input, as well as the expanding, okay, for generating text, and the chatbot feature from ChatGPT and its inner architecture, right? Like this, and it is inner design for that. And how you can create is ChatGPT or chat assistant uh, for a particular, let's say, for a purchase assistance, or for example, an AI customer service agent, something that Shopify actually do that. The uh, so Shopify, Shopify, Shopify app. Jesus, Shopify. Shop app is the shop app from Shopify. Is this exactly like this? The shop app. After all, this is an AI assistant to improve the customer buyer experience. I'm assuming that they're using is ChatGPT behind the scenes. Okay, and so yeah, or you can also create an AI order taker for a restaurant. Cool, cool, cool. So with that, okay, uh, then I close this and close that, okay. So with all of those abilities, so this skill set, okay, I apply that to this to get this framework or this roadmap, and then let's go to put out practice, which is the practice here. Practice. Okay. So we want foundation of cross-border payments, right? Uh, so again, intro to cross-border payments like this. So according to, because after all, I asked ChatGPT for that, to learn more about this. So how can I receive this cross-border payment, cross-border payment roadmap like that? Okay, as well as this. So I asked for them, okay, on day one where you're explaining the introduction of cross-border payment, I asked this. So which article or video should I look based on day one? And they provide me this. Most of those links are broken. By the way, remember the knowledge. So the ChatGPT knowledge is on up to 2021. Okay. So what I did is just go with the Stripe cross-border 101 as well as WISE here. Okay. So yeah, cross-border payments explain type of cross-border payments and who use them, as well as the WISE, right? So you have the definition for WISE as well as uh, the Stripe. Okay. So as the global market continues to expand, which is something that it will, more business are taking advantage of the cross-border trades opportunity. I'm one of them. In 2022, customers paid business around 2.8 trillion in cross-border payments, while over 150 trillion in business-to-business cross-border payments occurred that year. Okay. According to Statista, okay, this think tank, value of only necessary value of business to business, business to consumer, consumer to business, and consumer to consumer cross-border payments worldwide from 2016 to 2020, with forecasts of 2021 and 2022. Okay, so something that I can see that doesn't matter, but according to them, to Stripe, okay, so customer in 2022, customer pay business around 2.8 trillion in cross-border payment. It also because the huge amount of money that the government print. So while over 150 trillion in business-to-business cross-border payments occur that year. However, sending and receiving payment across border can be complex and challenging process with various regulatory requirements, fees, and risk to navigate. Something I'm going to put as this. Okay. So from Stripe, okay, sending and receiving payments, sending and receiving payments, okay, sending and receiving payments across border can be, oh my god, what the hell? Okay, nope. All right. Okay. And there you got it. Okay. Cool. So sending and receiving payment across border can be complex, challenging, challenging process uh, with regulatory requirements, with regulatory requirements, fees, and risk to navigate. Okay, and I'm making this here is just to understand more about this. Okay, and be able to identify according to a Stripe each one of those aspects involved in the cross-border payments, right? Which can be complex, challenging process. It can be complex, challenging process with regular. It can be complex, challenging process with regulatory requirements, fees, and risk to navigate. Mhm. And despite this challenge, cross-border payments are important for business that want to expand into new markets, reach new customer, and diversify their revenue stream, which is the reason why we go with, right? So this is the challenge. This is the challenge. Okay? So the challenge. And the reason of choosing cross-border payment, okay? So despite this, that's right. So Despite this challenge, so despite this challenge, cross-border payments are important to business. Okay, are important for business that want to expand into new markets. Okay, that wants to expand into new markets. Expand into new markets, get new customer reach. Expand into new markets, reach new customers, and in diversify its income stream and diversify their revenue stream. Diversify, diversify their revenue stream for that. Okay. So with the end, there are solutions to this challenge. With the right payment method and strategy, business can reduce costs, improve cash flow, and accelerate growth. Okay. So with the right payment processors, or with the right payment method and strategies, which is something important here. So with the right payment method and strategies, business can reduce costs. Exactly, business can reduce costs, improve cash flow, and accelerate growth. Growth. And below, we'll explore the various types of cross-border payment available, the benefits and downsides of cross-border payment for business, and the process for sending and receiving cross-border payments. Whether you are an established enterprise or a growing startup, understanding and planning for cross-border payments is important to stay competitive and keep your financial operation as effective and as efficient and effective as possible. Like this. So here we're going to explore various type of cross-border payments available, the benefits and downside of cross-border payment for business. The benefits and downside of cross-border payment for business, and the process of sending and receiving cross-border payments. Whether you are an established enterprise or a growing startup, understanding and planning for cross-border payment is important to stay competitive. Exactly. Understanding and planning for cross-border payments is important to stay competitive, keep your financial operation keep your financial operations as efficient and effective as possible. I'm going to write it down this. Okay. So we'll explore. Okay, we'll explore the various type, okay, of cross border. Yeah, we'll explore the various type of cross border payment available, available. Okay. Below we're going to explore the various type of cross-border payment. Okay, we'll explore the various okay types of cross-border payments available, the benefit and downside, the benefits and downside, okay, the benefits and downside of cross-border payment for business, of cross-border payment for business, okay, the benefit and downside of cross-border payment for business, and the process for sending and receiving cross-border payment. Okay, so the process of receiving and sending cross-border payments. Okay, okay. Again, all of this is from Stripe. Extract from Stripe. From Stripe Explain. Explanation. Or for Stripe, cross-border payment 101. Okay. 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 And WISE, what actually mentioned WISE, a cross-border payment include personal remittance, international corporate payments, and cross-border e-commerce. So cross-border payments, e-commerce, and business-to-business essentials. So cross-border payments. So because I look at the WISE and cross-border payment, okay. What are cross-border payment for this? Full guy and tips, cross-border payments, e-commerce and business to business. Okay. Okay. So this is another link here, another resource for that. Okay. So according to WISE, so cross-border transactions involve the movement of funds between national borders. Okay. They involve the movement of funds between national borders. So here, cross-border payments are financial transactions that occur between parties located in different countries. So here, Stripe looked then as financial transactions that occur in different countries, whereas WISE mentioned that is the movement, is a transaction, but it's the movement of funds between national borders. It's the same. They're just saying the same thing from different perspectives and different words, using different words. Specifically, when the merchant business is registered in one country and the customer card was issued in another. So the 2020 Visa GM study showed that 87% of global merchants executives view cross-border sale as the biggest area for potential growth. I'm not an global merchant executive, but I just want to make sense about this. That's all. Reduce the cost of international transaction. Choose why business. What are cross-border transactions? Type of cross-border payments. What is the problem with cross-border payments? And why are cross-border payments so expensive? A solution for cross-border transaction. Why business? What are cross-border transactions? A cross-border transaction refers to when funds move between countries. Period. Simple. Right? Simple. Simple. It's a financial transaction when, uh, according to the WISE stripe here, it's a financial transaction that occur between parties located in different countries, or refers to the movement of funds between countries. It can be either individual consumers or business. What is considered a cross-border transaction? If a customer that lives in Germany buy goods from an e-commerce store in Italy, it is a cross-border transaction. But if that customer was using a card issued in Italy, it will no longer be a cross-border payment. Cross-border transactions don't refer to the customer or merchant's locations, but where the business is registered. Exactly. What in that particular case, when that service, or in this case, the car issue that. So when that business is registered and the car used to pay is issued. Cross-border payment can include a variety of payment methods, such as bank transfers, credit card payment, e-wallet, and mobile payment. So, okay, I'm just want to now from this extract, okay, from the uh, stripe here, okay, stripe here. In this case is holy fuck, what the heck? Okay, like this. What the hell? And why this? Why you get that in what? Okay. Why you translate that into German? What the hell is that? Why you translate that into? Oh, wow. Okay. This is enough. Okay. Stripe cross-border payments. Okay. And the other is Wise cross-border payment. Okay. So just this. And I'm going to link this. Okay, so Wise cross-border payments. Okay, so they mentioned that this for them they refers to the cross-border transactions involve the movement of funds between national borders. It involves the movement of funds between countries. Okay, between national borders. National borders. Okay, it involves the movement of funds between national borders. Period. Okay, exactly. So a cross-border transaction refers when funds move between countries. It can be either individual consumer or business. Okay, it can be either. It can be either. Exactly, it can be either. Yeah, it can be either. Mm, it can be either. It can be either consumers or business. So cross-border transactions don't refer to customer or merchants' locations. Very, very important. Cross-border transaction doesn't involve the customer, exactly, the customer or merchants location, but where the business is registered and the card used to pay is issued. But when, very, very important, where the business is registered and the car used to pay and the car used to pay it issue, and the car used to pay is issue. Very, very, very important. Okay, very, very, very important. So where is that business located and where you have your car? Okay, uh, which is the car used to pay issue. All right, the car used to pay is issue. All right. Okay, so with that, that'll be all for the video. Take care. Bye bye.